Welcome to the State of the City program. I'm Richard Jones, City Clerk of the City of Newburyport. This is our first time here at this beautiful senior center, community center. And as I walked in, maybe as someone also noticed, Old McFarland's plaque is on the wall. And I thought it was just appropriate to mention her for a second. I noticed on the plaque it said, Olga's life stood for the following: determination, care, patience, positivity, wisdom, and humility. How great is that? I think it's a fair statement that she would just love this whole place, this scene, this State of the City being here tonight. If I could also say, if you could take a moment to turn off your communication devices and cell phones, etc. We're going to start in a minute with the Newburyport Police Honor Guard. Following that, we'll hear from Ann Holman, Newburyport's own soprano. She's going to sing the national anthem. Then we'll have a Pledge of Allegiance. As you can see from your program, we're fortunate tonight and we have a number of elected officials here. I'm going to probably get in trouble if I start naming them. I certainly want to mention State Senator Kathleen O'Connor, aye. Representative James Calcourse, Sheriff Cousins, Council President O'Brien. Did I forget Mayor Donna Holaday? Many councilors seated here. Councilor Cameron, Connell, Cronin, Eigenman, Tontar, Vogel, Z, have I forgotten any? Great. We also have school committee members, Chair Sweeney, Menon, DeCanter, Superintendent Vaccaro, Cole, Miller, Hawkeiser. Having said that, why don't we start with the honor guard who's going to come in. If you could stand and remain standing for the national anthem and the Pledge of Allegiance.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly she held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. I think we can. And I would ask Reverend Christopher Nye from the Central Congregational Church to lead us in prayer.
Some of you know, Donna was elected mayor just a few weeks after I was called to serve as pastor at Central Congregational Church. So as a new pastor in town, it was a great thing to have the mayor as one of my congregants. And it has been my pastoral privilege to accompany you during these years. It's my honor to be here tonight, and I am consistently impressed, Donna, with all that you have done on behalf of the people who live in Newburyport. So it is my privilege to be with you. Please join me in prayer. Loving and merciful God, creator and sustainer of all life, in this moment of prayer, we acknowledge that we know you by many different names, and we recognize that your true being is beyond our comprehension. Yet we believe it is right and good that we turn to you in a spirit of humble thanksgiving. As we gather this evening to reflect upon and celebrate the city where we live, work, learn, and play, we give thanks for the blessings that you have bestowed upon us, for the beauty of the natural world around us, for the faithful service of all those who have gone before, for the heritage of community engagement, and the common concerns which bind us together. We give you thanks. With the prophet Isaiah, with Jeremiah, we remember your call to seek the welfare of the city, for in it we shall find our own welfare. So we ask that you guide us as we seek to work together for the common good. Hold before us a vision of your justice and righteousness, so that we might know the peace, the shalom that is your intention for our lives. And watch over and guide all who call Newburyport home, so that you might renew in us a commitment to that common good, so that we might faithfully care for the gifts which have been handed to us, and that we might be good stewards of those gifts for future generations as yet unseen. May our legitimate differences not impede our ability to care for one another and to live together as your children. For above all, we ask that you guide us in the paths of wisdom and compassion, intelligence and justice, that we might care for one another, and especially those who are most vulnerable in our community, and in that way reflect the common good and the commonwealth to which you have called us all. Amen.
Thank you very much. Now it's my distinct pleasure and honor to introduce former City Councilor, current State Senator Kathleen O'Connor.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. It's my distinct honor to be introduced by our fine city clerk. And I truly want to thank Mayor Holaday for inviting me to join you this evening and to speak before her State of the City remarks. I look out and I see so many friends and so many neighbors. Newburyport is our home. And we're all here tonight because we have a shared interest in the improvement of the community. And I've witnessed a number of achievements along the way this past year. The fact that we're sitting in this very senior center is nothing that we should ever take for granted. It's a phenomenal achievement. It requires vision and leadership. And we had volunteers and community members. We had so many people from the Council on Aging. We had Olga, but we also had the mayor leading the charge to create that unity. And it took years, many site locations, many visits, but this is a testament to that achievement, a building where generations of intergenerational community growth is going to take place. So that's one. The other thing that I noticed was the signing of the community compact that took place in July, and that was when Lieutenant Governor Polito came here to sign what really is an intermunicipal agreement happening throughout the state to focus on best practices, because we know we have very limited resources. But Newburyport was recognized, and hopefully in the future we'll get benefits and points for future grant opportunities to be able to learn from the successes. So the communities that are doing the right thing are going to be rewarded for that. The other thing that I think is commendable is the competitive grant process. Newburyport secured $2 million in a MassWorks grant, which is directly related to the success for the Smart Growth District being implemented. So that's another tangible thing. What it's indicative of is partnerships. Relationships are critical, from our street level as neighbors to the local and the state, all the way to the federal level. And Mayor Holaday and I have an invaluable, strong line of communication. You need that relationship because we have to coordinate at the state level as well. The state budget is very limited. Grants are very competitive. And I want to be a resource so that we are able to meet all of the needs. We have local aid, we have Chapter 70 funding, social services, the opioid crisis, all of these challenges where there is no end in sight. And we need to have that strong partnership in order to effectively collaborate. So I'm proud to report that we have that, and we'll have a very productive year this forward going. So I think about the fact that we have the mayor as our elected municipal leader, and we're working as hard as we can at the state level. But I know that we can never do any of this alone, and we need your support as well. Because public service, although we choose to do it in an elected role, through the city councilors, the council president, the mayor, the volunteerism and the public service that's necessary to help problem solve, we're all going to be needed to come up at the table with our time, our ideas, our solutions to bring Newburyport to the next level, because this city has limitless potential. We are so wonderfully located by the river, by a highway, history that no one else can claim, I think, in the entire United States. This is our home, and if we work together at City Hall and in our neighborhoods, I truly think that the sky is the limit. So with that, Mayor Holaday, I'm so pleased to be here. I look forward to working with you in the future for additional successes that are inevitably going to be achieved. And I really do think that the sky is the limit for the Clipper City. Thank you very much.
It's now my distinct pleasure to introduce our friend and our representative, James.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Thank you, Mayor Holaday, Sheriff Cousins, Senator Rives, the Newburyport City Council, and all of you men and women in the audience this evening and viewing on television. It is a great honor and a privilege for me to be here this evening. Newburyport has certainly seen its share of challenges over the last year, whether it be Plum Island or monies that needed to come for the schools or road repairs or infrastructure improvements. But we've always seemed to come out on top. And it's because of the strong working relationship between the mayor and the state, our office, the Baker-Polito administration, that we've been able to secure a lot of money for the city of Newburyport, whether that be $5 million for the intermodal facility, the $2 million that Senator Ives just pointed out in the form of grant monies, or the fishing pier, or the Harbor Masters building. We've been very successful, and we couldn't do that without a wonderful relationship with our mayor here, who has just exhibited strong leadership, passionate about the city. She's a wonderful person to deal with, and I can't tell you how much I'm looking forward to working with our mayor, Mayor Donna Holaday, in 2016 and for years to come. She's doing a phenomenal job. She deserves a big round of applause. And Madam Mayor, with that, I'm going to turn it over to the next speaker, and that's probably you, but thank you very much.
Frank, we won't forget you. Next is our native son, our friend also, Sheriff Frank Cousins.
Thank you very much, Richie. It's great to be here. I'm not a native son. I was born in the city of Boston, you know, so I have to say that once in a while. I got home in time for lunch, but it's great to be here today. It's great to have a chance to say a few words. We're very fortunate here in the city of Newburyport to have really a great team, and I know firsthand a great team of public employees and city council that works under the direction of our mayor, Donna Holaday. I represent 34 cities and towns, and Everybody in Essex County talks about the successes in the city of Newburyport, and it doesn't matter what level of success they want to talk about. And I talk about the strong leadership we have in the City Hall and in the people that work daily at the city of Newburyport. I've been very fortunate to work very closely with Mayor Holaday the last several years and on some public safety issues that I think are very important to the quality of life in the city of Newburyport. We're very fortunate to have a very strong fire chief and a great fire department to deal with all of our issues around emergency management and when our citizens get sick or get hurt. And most recently, I participated with the mayor, asked me to, with the assessment center, and picking our new city marshal, Mark Murray, who's going to do an excellent job and provide the necessary leadership that we need down at the police station here in the city of Newburyport. Also, the mayor has called upon me several times to work, as Senator Ives has talked about, and she's had multiple visits along with our representative also with the opiate crisis and dealing with the drug and alcohol issues that we have, not only here in the city of Newburyport, but here in the Commonwealth. And the mayor has been right out front on that, really organizing all of our local cities in this particular region to really collaborate and think about how we could fight that particular problem. And just little simple things of organizing and letting people know where to go, when they need help, working with our hospital, working with our treatment providers, and working with all of our citizens. The mayor has shown a tremendous amount of leadership on that. One of the things that she spoke to me about, as Senator Ives has been very, very clear about, was the need for treatment beds for people with the quality of life crimes that we have to deal with here in the city of Newburyport. We were very fortunate to be able to open up a detox, but those ideas just don't come from the sky. They come from the leadership that Donna has provided here in the city and working with a group of elected officials in this region to be able to provide the need that we do to try to slow the tide of what we're seeing with the drug and alcohol and the opiate issue here in this first Essex district. So with that, I'm very honored to be able to come up and say a few words. It was my honor to be the sheriff and represent the city of Newburyport. And I couldn't do it without all of the people here in the room tonight, all the councilors and all the other citizens, and I'm very honored to serve the city of Newburyport and be here with our mayor tonight. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Frank, very much. Now it's my distinct pleasure to introduce the Greater Newburyport Children's Choir, who will sing a medley of patriotic songs. This is our esteemed, there's a lot of people inside you know. Our esteemed President of the City Council, Thomas F. Holaday.
When we have it in City Hall, I seem to follow the kids, the children sing, and here at the Senior Center, I'm following, and God, well, they're fantastic, as usual. They just do a great job. That's the best part for me coming to inaugurations of the state of the city, is listen to these children and how they, the music that came from them tonight, and the music that down at the City Hall that comes from the band of the high school. It's just, they do a phenomenal job in the middle school and high school with the band and music, and I hope we never cut it, so let's, Good evening, Senator Connor Ives, Representative Kalkos, Sheriff Cousins, former Mayor Carrier, welcome. School Committee Superintendent Susan Vaccaro, fellow councilors. It's an honor to be here to introduce the Mayor of the City of Newburyport. I've had the pleasure of working with her for many years. Some might say too many, but I'm still here, and I think we work together well as a team. As the previous speaker said, you've got to have a team to work with. And if we didn't have Representative Kalkos, Sheriff Cousins, of Senator Ives, I tell you, the city would be lost. The amount of work that Sheriff Cousins does in the summertime with the DPS, and also the Housing Authority, and dealing with the lawns and everything, and the leaves, and it's just phenomenal. If we had to do that, this city would be broken. Thank you for all the work all you do. I appreciate it. President of the City Council, which I was elected that position a few days ago, it seems like. I've been a City Council President for 10 years. I lived in the city for 69 years, and I served the City Council for 19 years and the Water Department for 5 years. So it's good being a native. It's good to see, sometimes it's good to see changes. There's been a lot of changes in 18 years. Some of the things that, the last few years that under Mayor Holaday, which, I've been proud to be involved, is this senior center right here. What a building. Like you said, like previous speaker said, it's an honor to Olga, to the amount of work that Olga McFarland put in. She would call you every day and she'd bug you, but you got the work done. Olga was one hell of a person, she's missed. So it's good to see that plaque out there to honor her. The Mullen School, we have the Mullen Knox School, that's been done under Mayor Holaday. We had Port Pride, and they fought together to get this on the ballot. And then Bressingham School, where my grandsons had the pleasure of attending the last 2 years. If you haven't seen that place, that is a beautiful, beautiful school. Some of the things that the mayor has helped me in my ward and the citizens of my ward with the sidewalks up on Ferry Street to Pine Hill Road. I lobbied for 5, 6, 7 years for that, and there's never any money, too much money. If we had to use it from the chapter 90, wouldn't work out or whatever. So, I kept bugging the mayor, and somehow you found the money. And that road is just, that sidewalk is well used by many, many people. It's safe now to walk there. You can almost walk to Mossy State. So it's, and I thank you for that. And the roundabout, which is my baby, I pushed for that for 10 to 12 years and get criticized quite a bit. Some people like it, some people hate it, but I think it turned out pretty good. But we didn't have the money for that. There was never any money, but Donna found the money for the city. Thank you very much. And I think it's worked out well. And we have a sidewalk up there one side of Spofford Street. So, my ward has worked out well. I think a lot of people's wards, we've done a lot of things in the city. There's a lot more things to be done. We have to, the waterfront, we're going to work on that and hopefully solve that. That was the issue 18 years ago when I ran. It was an issue last month when we ran. So I think hopefully, the next year or so, we will finish that. And, Newburyport's a great place to live. We have thriving businesses, we have great schools, we have strong city services. Thank the department heads for coming in support of the mayor tonight. You guys and girls do a great job, and we appreciate it. Thank you very much. I think the state of the city is strong with all these people working together as a team. And like you said, all the people before me have said, you have to work as a team to make things work out well. And I think we can do that in the city of Newburyport, work as a team. But my duty tonight, Section 3(6) of the Newburyport Code of Ordinance, it requires that at least once each year, the mayor shall report to the city council and the public on the state of the city. So in accordance with the ordinance, it is my honor and privilege to introduce to you our 68th mayor and our first 4-year term mayor is Donna.
Senator Ives, Representative Kalkhorst, Sheriff Cousins, President O'Brien, City Councilors, School Committee members, Superintendent Vaccaro, residents, family and friends. Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight for the Mayor's Annual State of the City Address. And welcome to our long-awaited and beautiful Senior Community Center. It has been an eventful year. We will not soon forget the horrific winter that hit us at the start of 2015. Nearly 10 feet of snow fell in 5 weeks. That consumed all of our focus, resources, and energy for much of February. Plum Island was hit very hard, and snow removal was a tremendous challenge. I would like to recognize the leadership and dedication of our public services, police, fire, health, and building departments. And the many employees who demonstrated strong teamwork working across departments to respond to all levels of impact across our city. Together, as a community, we withstood and made it through one of the worst storms in our history. We also received significant support from Governor Baker, Lieutenant Governor Polito, Senator Ives, Representative Kalkhorst, Senator Tarr, Representative Mira. Thank you. And I'd like to shout out to the Pennsylvania DOT for their equipment and their manpower. We couldn't have made it without them. There were several outcomes resulting from last winter. One was a new snow and ice operations manual that was developed in collaboration with the City Council. This will be an evolving document with the public's input. Let's hope this manual continues to say closed this winter. One of the highlights of this past year that has been said was the opening of this beautiful Senior Community Center. Our seniors and residents finally have a central location for programs, supports, and meetings, activities, and so much more. Have you ever seen Roseanne Robillard smile so much? She reports that from the day the doors open, the center has been very busy and in high demand. The community response has been wonderful. I look forward to learning how to play bocce this spring. Another highlight of this past year was the substantial work on field space. The completion of the Richie Eaton baseball field, thank you Newburyport Bank. A new soccer field at Cherry Hill, thank you to the Newburyport Youth Soccer Association for the countless hours they put into making that happen. We also are beginning work on the Fuller track and are working with the Friends of the Newburyport track to design and fundraise. Finally, after a 15-year effort, Restore joined forces with Port Pride, with major support from the Institution from Savings, secured funding for a new turf field at the Newburyport High School. On the eve of Thanksgiving, hundreds came together to dedicate this new field to a beloved coach and wonderful teacher, Jim Stalin. It was a magical night that will be remembered for many, many years. Another great treasure of our community is our coastline, waterfront, and beaches. These assets are receiving much attention. The North and South Jetty projects are complete. New docks and a fishing pier have been constructed at Cashman Park. The Merrimack River Beach Alliance is renewing efforts for dredging the Merrimack River and uniting to address the new erosion patterns happening out at Reservation Terrace. We are part of a $2.9 million federal Sandy grant to study coastal communities, and we have a new ad hoc committee charged with coordinating information from all of these projects and programs to create a new resiliency plan for Newburyport and Plum Island. On the central waterfront, we are rebidding our harbor master and transient boater facility, and we hope to begin construction in late spring. Significant progress has been made in open discussions with all stakeholders to shape the future of the waterfront. Councilor Jared Eigerman is chairing an ad hoc committee with support of Councilors Cameron, Bogle, and Cronin, with representation from the Newburyport Redevelopment Authority, Waterfront Trust, Harbor Commission, the Citizens for an Open Waterfront, and settlers. We have worked together to make positive changes to boards to enhance this important process. President O'Brien, thank you for your commitment to continue this important effort. On Waterfront West, after many years of speculation on New England Development's plans, we anticipate the presentation of a master plan and phase 1 of development this year. We have only seen recent conceptual plans, but once NED begins to unveil this project, we will ensure public notice, open meetings, and input and dialogue. The construction of an intermodal facility and garage is critical to reducing parking on the waterfront. It is also an important need for the parking inventory downtown. Our initial design of a 400-plus car structure required the taking of portions of a butter's property. It was 5 stories and an escalating price to $16 million. And although we have secured $7 million in state and federal funding, we needed to stop. We needed to step back and really look at the cost, the size, and the impact. The structure will be a presence in our downtown for many, many years, and we need to find the right balance. We have presented the City Council an alternative plan with a reduction in size, height, and no taking of abutters' properties. We will be presenting additional details in a subcommittee of the City Council next week in conjunction with the abutter and neighborhood meetings. This is a very complex process involving federal, state, city, and private interests. And we recognize the importance of information. We have initiated changes to improve our outreach and communication, and we will ensure this continues throughout the project. A long-awaited project is the construction of phase 2 of our Clipper Rail Trail. After years of work, we have reached 100% design and have received a notice to proceed from Mass DOT. We anticipate construction beginning this summer. This past year, another important step occurred in our city in the passage of the 40R Smart Growth District. This ordinance provides for control of potential development for the next decades, with comprehensive design and development regulation. We currently have only one project in the pipeline, the Minko development of 80 residential units with 25% affordability. It is because of the adoption of this smart growth ordinance that the city was awarded $2 million in a Mass Work grant for a new lift station on Graff Road. Another key development in process is the Kelly School. The developer, Diamond Sinacori, holds a strong portfolio for adaptive reuse of historic buildings. This project is in the final stages of permitting for 10 high-end condos and underground parking. But of utmost importance, the facade and exterior of the building will be preserved with a preservation restriction. The city will receive $750,000 for the sale of this property, and construction is anticipated to commence this spring. Our city achieved Green Community designation in 2010, and over the past 5 years have been awarded $580,000 that has supported energy upgrades to most of our municipal buildings. We have also installed a first electric car charging station at the Harris Street lot. This year, our goal is to convert to LED streetlights. The projects and programs are numerous in our Energy and Sustainability Department. I encourage all to take time to see more information on the city website. As we celebrate all the energy initiatives that have occurred in the city, I would like to recognize David Hall for his foresight in helping to lead the city and green initiatives, particularly in solar. He has begun permitting the first net zero development, Hillside Center for Sustainable Living. The site will include 48 rental units and an affordable 10-unit lodging to be operated by the YWCA. It also will have community gardens, community building, and a greenhouse. The Newburyport School District, under the leadership of Susan Vaccaro, continues moving forward. The completion of the building projects brought our facilities into the 21st century, providing the needed tools and technology that was essential for our teachers and students. Newburyport High School placed 40th in the Boston Magazine's annual 50th Best Public Schools. The College Board recognized our high school as a school of distinction for our advanced placement, offerings, and performance. Our teacher salaries are finally where they should be, the top 12% in the state. Teachers, coaches, directors, mentors have guided our students to regional and state championships and awards. A new strategic plan is being developed with broad community and school participation. Strong partnerships are developing with institutions of higher ed, Salem State University, Merrimack College, and Northern Essex Community College. School funding continues to be a great challenge, but as we continue to work collaboratively, we have advanced funding to our schools by 25% over the past 6 years, and we can continue to rebuild the loss of programs. Electives are being reinstated at the high school, and key positions are being restored. This past year brought some changes in leadership positions for the city. We have a new HR director, Tracy Maynard. A new health director, Frank Giacalone. Additionally, Marshal Tom Howard retired after serving the police department for over 30 years. The selection committee completed their due diligence, and I have put forth the name of Acting Marshal Mark Murray for City Council review and confirmation. We have also had a recent addition to our police force, Epic. 2-year-old German Shepherd who has also completed his training. Our city's financial status is an important topic of any State of the City address. We had a very strong year. The city was notified in May that it had achieved the highest possible municipal bond rating of AAA from the national agency Standard & Poor's. This rating places Newburyport among the ranks of top communities across the country for creditworthiness and financial management. The upgraded credit status will allow the city to issue debt at lower rates, saving the city in future borrowing costs. My thanks to our exemplary finance team led by Ethan Manning. What is of great importance is our debt management, as we have embarked on major and critical infrastructure and capital projects over the past 6 years. It is important for everyone to understand where we are. Yes, I heard, as well as city councilors during this past campaign season, spend, spend, spend. It is not the spending, it is the source of funding and the impact on the property tax rate that is critical. We have adopted an industry standard that general fund debt service should not exceed 8 to 10%. We are currently at 6.1%, slightly over 5.8% of last year. As you know, we have been very aggressive in obtaining federal, state, and grant funds to address our capital and infrastructure needs. The projects that impact our property tax are those that we all voted on. The Bresnahan School, the renovations to Knock-Mullen, the Senior Community Center, and field space. We have extensive capital and equipment needs within the city, and after years of deferment, tight budgets, and a poor economy, we are now able to address needs and developed an evolving capital 5-year plan based on priorities. A few examples. We've replaced our Harleys that our old ones were no longer met standards for the police department. We have replaced 2 22-year-old fire engines with 2 emergency 1 rescue pumpers. And we also were awarded a 41-foot UTV Coast Guard surplus fireboat. DPS replaced a used street sweeper, a pickup truck, and a 1-ton dump truck. These were pieces of equipment that could no longer be repaired and could not pass inspection. Newburyport has become a city in demand, and consequently, we are seeing record housing sales and escalating property values. Of the 34 communities in Essex County, Newburyport has the 14th highest average single-family bill, but because of our higher than average values, our tax rate is the 9th lowest. Our major revenue stream is our property tax, representing 84% of total revenues. We have also achieved a 98% collection rate, recovering over $3.1 million in outstanding property taxes and returning 290 properties to the tax rolls in the past 5 years. The FY16 tax rate was approved at $13.39 per thousand, representing a 5-cent increase or $275 annual increase to the average homeowner in Newburyport of $520,000. For the past 3 years, we have raised our taxes by 1.75%, as opposed to the legally allowed cap of 2.5%. We are also very cognizant of the recent increases in resident water and sewer bills and are working to make possible adjustments for FY17 while ensuring the debt service for the critically needed upgrades to our water and sewer plant are covered. As we move forward, we have established strong partnerships with our new administration, Governor Baker and Lieutenant Governor Polito. We were the 16th community to sign to the Community Commonwealth Compact, with goals to advance best practice in funding our capital plan and developing a new budget format for our schools. We have solid relationships with our legislators, Senator O'Connor Ives and Representative Kalkors, who have been successful advocates for funding for our city, including the intermodal garage and Plum Island water and sewer repairs. They have supported our cultural district designation and understand and work on the challenges we face with the current school funding formula for both Chapter 70 and charter schools and the escalating costs of special education. Senator Ives and Representative Kalkors are great supporters of community events, activities, and fundraisers, and provide outstanding constituent services. We have hired, currently there are several projects that are of high priority. The completion of the master plan, our zoning revisions, sidewalk and street repairs, and the disposition of the Brown School. We have hired Community Opportunity Group to assist in completing our master plan, who is the same consultant working on the major revision of our zoning. It is beneficial to have the same consultant developing these two central documents, and we have revised our goal to have these both completed by late spring. Major efforts have been underway to address the long list of street and sidewalk issues. We receive an annual allocation of Chapter 90 funds from the state, but $600,000 does not go very far. We have increased spending by over 450% on sidewalks, and DPS has created a standardized manual on sidewalk repairs. Over the past 3 years, and by the completion of this fiscal year, over 14,000 linear feet of sidewalks will have been installed, replaced, or repaired. And over 21,000 linear feet of streets will have been repaved. We will continue our efforts to address roads and sidewalks. We also need to address the disposition of the Brown School. Winter Street Architects began a feasibility study, but we placed future discussion on hold to allow time requested to complete a due diligence study of additional educational needs of the district. Our next school committee meeting will be held at the Brown School site to discuss next steps. Youth Services is using the first floor and gym, and we need to address the extensive upgrades needed to protect this building and ensure a permanent home for Youth Services. We have a beautiful city, but we are not immune from the opioid and heroin epidemic that has plagued Essex County, our state, and beyond. Our public safety, school, health, and youth services personnel have been actively participating in a range of efforts over this past year. Sheriff Cousins has assisted in coordinating regional meetings, and in December opened a 43-bed detox center with a groundbreaking approach of treating nonviolent prisoners for addiction rather than incarceration. Newburyport hosted area chiefs to meet with Gloucester Chief of Police, Lenny Campanella, to learn more about their ANGEL program and the Police Assisted Addiction and Recovery Initiative, PARI. Youth Services has coordinated a range of activities during the month of March. I strongly encourage all of us to take part in these events. We must continue to build our efforts in prevention, intervention, and treatment if we are going to reverse this trend. Finally, we need to enhance our communication, and we must embrace social media. A Facebook page and Twitter will be released in the next several weeks to disseminate information and engage constituents. As James Thurber stated, precision of communication is important, more important than ever. In an era of hair trigger balances, when a false or misunderstood word may create as much disaster as a sudden, thoughtless act. We live in a magnificent city with so many wonderful assets, Our community is changing as more families, retirees, and empty nesters fall in love with our city. We have many challenges, but I believe we are moving in the right direction, and we have much to celebrate. Change can be difficult. So here is my ask. Seek out the facts. Participate in meetings. Give a few hours of your time for a cause you care about. And pause for a moment to reread the post or email before you hit send. Communication is powerful and can make a real difference. Be authentic, but be kind. Thank you.
That concludes our program tonight, and on behalf of the mayor, I want to invite everyone to enjoy some refreshments here with us, and also enjoy some music and entertainment by the Holaday Trio. Thank you very much.